All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to the live stream. Got my boy this way. Got to remember it's backwards on here.
Yeah,
Alex Wink Ink Michael is in the house, man. It's been a long time coming that we've been planning this, isn't it?
it's been a while. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate
Well, we've talked about it, and honestly, it's my lack of knowledge on technology that has been the biggest factor in us not being able to get this done. Because I'm just I'm always I've been so many fails on trying to do this that I'm I get nervous doing it now. Well, it sure looks like my hat's on crooked in the
yeah, no,
video.
it's
It's
way.
not. I swear it's on there straight, but I guess my camera angle. But so how
Yeah,
you been, man?
good, hanging in there. Just clanging and banging,
What's
I
up?
guess, grinding away.
What's up, Tim? Tim's
How's it going,
here.
Tim? Good to see you, man.
He, he got the message. He got the message. But yeah, we see you pop up on Instagram every once in a while to drop a load of mystery boxes. I just
Yeah,
opened one of yours and and then I'm like, okay, well, I can't let people think that this is what they're going to get in the mystery box. But I'm glad you gave me a heads up on that because people will
yeah,
be going, give me 12 of them at $50. But
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
really
That's the
you
thing. I
still
mean,
so are you still going,
yeah, yeah. If I know you, I'm
huh?
gonna probably do that. Like this is just kind of the way things are now. If I know you and you ask me for one, I'll probably do. I don't know. They'll all be a little different, but I'll definitely take care of you. Actually, Rob Fat Stacks just got one as well, and I really loaded his up just for what he does, for the comics curing cancer and all that. I mean, what a guy that I feel
What
just does not get enough of his flowers, man. He does so
yeah,
much for so
yeah.
many, unbelievable. So he's just a really really good dude. Think you might be a little frozen. I don't know. Uh,
Every,
there we go. I got you now. I think.
you could take care of those people, man. There's just so many people that have just bailed
Yeah.
and oops. Uh, looks like of course we're having technical difficulty a little bit, but like you said, there's a lot of people that just bailed on there, and it's and it, what do you do? I wish people would I wish people wouldn't give up on it so quick,
Yeah,
but
it's a
it
tough
is what it
space.
is, I guess.
It's a tough space to be involved in just so many ways. Like heck, I'm one of the ones that gave up on it. So
Eh,
I know. I
you
mean,
kind of dip your toe back, huh?
yeah. No, I've definitely. I think that I could probably definitively say I am finished completely when it comes to the collectible YouTube space. Maybe not no social media per se, but collectible YouTube space, you could definitely call me retired, finished, done. That was the finale, I think. I mean, it's just such a divisive space now, and you get so little for putting so much into it. Um,
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. If you, what's up, Ryan? What's up, Kenneth? I
what's going on?
mean, for me, I get satisfaction because I enjoy making videos.
Yeah,
I enjoy making content. I mean, you look at my views. I don't get any views. I'm lucky if I get 35 to 50 views, unless I'm going off on a tangent, then I get 400 or 500.
right, right,
but
right.
but that's what it is for me. I only cared about subscribers to get to that 1,000 mark so that I could
Yeah,
go live on my phone. And then I still haven't done it. Hardly ever go live on my phone. But it was like unlocking all the levels for YouTube at 1,000 subscribers. And you unlock everything and you can go.
right.
But so in that aspect, I get some satisfaction, and What's up, Larry?
Hey, what's
Yeah,
going
I
on?
know. That's what I was going to say. No tie.
No
What is
tie.
up with that?
No
No
tie.
tie. Is so Wink Inc. is officially dead? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I even stripped the logo off the sign back here. I got just the exec tie, just the mantra. No, Wink Inc's not dead. If you find me like on PSN, like PlayStation Network or something, or Xbox, Wink Inc lives forever. I mean, that's where that name really was derived from. It's always sort of been my
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
online
I mean,
handle.
I know where it was derived from, but I won't spoil the. I won't
Yeah.
spoil it. I won't give out. I won't give out any information you don't want me to give out.
Yeah.
Um, but I gotta ask though, what what was your line? What at what point did you just finally say, I'm just done with YouTube?
Um, I mean, that's a really great question, actually. Funny that I've never really been asked that before. I think when I came back in, because like for me, so I'm kind of the opposite. Like you guys all like what I'm seeing, like what Tim said. He said, "Hey, I do this for fun, like the creative process, right? Like the showcasing of the videos." For me, that really wasn't the part that I was the most interested in. I was more interested in the end game, and every YouTuber, I mean, Sticky Goose or all of them will call you out for saying it wasn't the growth, but for me, it was the impact. And it was those people. That's why I responded to every single comment. It stayed committed to that just because it was the people side of it that I was interested in more than anything. It wasn't the creative process. So when the people side of it fell apart, and it isn't about numbers, it's more about the ideology, I guess. The
Yeah.
divisiveness. When I saw it turn sour and I saw that it really would never turn back, right? Like it was just a special moment in time. I feel like that we had all captured this really amazing magic that we never really knew what we had until it was gone. And now when I see the negativity, divisiveness, the political divide, that stems from all different types of things, I can better focus my time and energy in other endeavors that will reciprocate that investment into people, and that's really what it comes down to for me. The collectible
Well,
side is something I'm passionate about. I still love collectibles. I'm not going to get out of those. It's just the creative didn't give me the creative investment didn't reciprocate the results that I was hoping for on the people side of it, I guess, is the best way I can put it.
well, I understand. I can understand that. I mean, I don't get a whole lot of engagement on my videos. There's a few diehards out there who I appreciate. Tim, one of them. Larry, Green Machine, there is one of them. And Ryan, of course. Ryan and I are friends in the real world here. Warlord. They're the diehards, and I'm not going to list every one of them, but they know who they are. That always comment, and I appreciate that and everything. And I understand that when you don't get a whole lot of engagement, you kind of, what's the point, you know? Um, but I've tried, I've tried to do other things. I got a new channel. I don't know if you've seen any of it or
I
not,
have.
but
Yeah, the Y
the
files.
Y
Yeah.
files. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah.
I was like, everybody, seems to gravitate towards the grumpy old man that's got no filter and just isn't afraid to say what's on his mind. I said, so what if I just embrace that and try something a little non-comic book related and just talk about some hot button issues and give my opinions on them, right or wrong. And boy, I just got no activity on that thing. But I was like, I got a few that followed me over from this channel, that are
Yeah.
just diehards, and they're just good people, good friends, and
It's
they
there's
good
a
friends
lot you
by
can
you.
do though. I mean, I would say, I mean, I know you're gonna stick with it because but you will, because it only takes one viral moment or some where people clip things, and the social media machine is so much faster than it was 5 years ago now, and to get
Right.
that engagement, you never know. It's almost like a lottery win. You might be surprised when you're all over, X and and TikTok and everything without you even knowing you doing anything other than somebody clipping you.
Right. Well, I think you had gotten to the point. I mean, you measure success by the trolls. It seems like the higher you climb and the more successful you are, the more people are just bound and determined to knock you off the mountain. And
Right.
and it's frustrating for me because I think we all should be wishing for success for each other. I don't. Comic Tom gets a lot of hate, and I don't have nothing against Comic Tom. I think he provides a service that's beneficial to the community. Yeah, he'll speculate a couple times on stuff, and he'll be wrong. But I always said that you can't call someone an influencer unless you're willing to be influenced by them. So don't be influenced by them. You buy what you like and make your own decisions. And the key collector app that people crap all over, it's a good resource for information. It's not a shopping list. People think key collector says buy these are hot, buy these, and then when it tanks, they blame key collector, but it's not. So I think you were starting to get right to that level of success that it seemed like you were starting to see a little pushback, and people were, those diehards that it followed you from day one. The people who have had the privilege enough to know you outside the W1nkinc character know that what you portray on YouTube is not who you are in real life. It's a character. In real life, you're one of the finest people I know, and and I'm happy to call you friend. And a lot of people accuse me you're riding on Wink's coattails. You're riding on Wink's coattails. Well, guys, Wink has rolled up his coattails, and I don't have none to ride on, and here he is still chatting with me. So
I appreciate the kind words, but I mean, for me though, some of that character I tried to embody, because the what you want to do when you have a character is you want to blend the lines of reality. You have to keep people thinking like, is this guy really this way? Or, and then you go back, and you baby face it, not to use wrestling terms here, but that's really what this is. You're going to turn heel and you're going to turn baby face. And when you blend those lines of reality and you capture something really special creatively, that's when you become like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, where you are both, essentially. And that you become that anti-hero or hero's hero or whatever. And it was a good character for the comic space, because I loved doing good things for people, the giveaways and things like that. And it was nice. And you're right. I definitely got some pushback. That definitely didn't really bother me. I mean, you're got to expect that no matter what you do in life with any success, you're going to have that type of stuff. If anything, I'm an incredibly, I'm an incredibly in your face kind of person. Like, I love conflict. I mean, I live in it. So, I mean, I would love to come across people at a convention or whatever. And, I'm not a guy that shies away from it in any sense, and keyboard or whatever, I'm in. So.
Me either. That it's got me into trouble a couple of times. You know as well as anybody else that I have no filter. I'm going to say what I mean, and unfortunately, I don't have a script sometimes, and sometimes I say things and that doesn't translate into exactly what I'm trying to say. Especially in instances where there's 5 people in a live stream and they're talking over each other and stuff like that. But I embrace my mistakes. And I try to have some integrity and own up to my mistakes when I say something that comes across wrong, and I know it does. I try to make it right. But the heel turn, that's what's funny about you is you let's see. If you want to talk wrestling, you're as far as your baby face and heel turns go, you were kind of like The Rock when The Rock tried to heel turn and nobody would let him.
Yeah.
Kind of like you.
Stone Cold was supposed to be a heel, but they wouldn't let him. They loved him, like that was a heel character. And
they kept cheering and cheering. They no matter what you did, nobody hated you.
No,
everybody was like, yeah, that's all we.
Yeah. I mean, and,
But
and Ryan, I don't want to gloss over what you said. Like, he did
mm,
ask, was the straw that broke the camel's back was what happened at C2E2? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that definitely was one that, and it's so funny to me because still to this day, people, kind of talk about that moment. And I don't, what I think a lot of people don't realize is I was right there in it. Um, like, I mean,
yeah,
I saw mostly all of it. Now, I arrived a couple hours late that day, but I still know what happened, who got what. Like, I saw, like when Thorough went live, but nobody asked me. Nobody really. And I even made a couple comments, just kind of emotionally driven. Like, I think Jim Mint put out a YouTube video about it, and he was trying to get some
uh,
distance from it. And he kind of blamed a couple of people, and it was kind of funny. In his video was not untruthful, but he ended up taking it down because it put a lot of heat on other people. But
yeah,
the long and short of it, I mean, that was several years ago at this point. But the long and the short of it is, I'll tell you guys a couple of things here that you might find interesting, and one of them you might find really interesting. The first one I'll say is if I would have gotten, yeah, acetate gate. That's right, quick draw. It's acetate gate I'm talking about. If I would have arrived at the convention center 2 hours earlier, I'm a big enough man to admit this to you all right now. I would have been 1000% embroiled in that controversy. I would have been in the heart of it. I would have had 40 copies of those things to sell on whatnot. And I can't tell you with a straight face that I wouldn't have done it. Because when you're in that moment and you're caught up in that hype machine, you don't even really know you're doing anything wrong until you like
yeah.
think about it and you're like, oh my God, why would I have done this? I probably can pretty much say I probably would have been in the middle of that if I'd have gotten there 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
And
Well,
unfortunately, I got there late. Well, maybe fortunately, and I kind of saw it play out, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, guys! You're really doing something stupid here." You know what I mean? Like, I could see myself getting caught up in the hype machine, but if you don't know that they don't have more copies available or whatever, and I don't want to defend these people because they knew what they were doing. They saw the
oh,
dollar sign, But if you're
even
in
if
that,
you do,
yeah, I mean, when I saw they had all of them, I was like, wait a minute. You guys, this is a big problem. Like, you're not, this is not what you want to do. This is going to look really bad. And I don't think really anybody thought of it that way because they're like, well, we're, like to kind of, to maybe be the devil's advocate for them here. Their thought process was, well, look, we're making these available to the people that can't come. Like, this is, we're doing people a service, the many, instead of the few. And I was like, oh, well, okay, this is going to go
you
bad.
had a markup.
Yeah, I
Well,
had a ridiculous.
here's what I would say. If playing devil's advocate in the whole situation, if you stumbled into a comic shop and some guy had come into 500 copies of ASM 300 and he was selling those things for $50 a pop, you
You'd have
don't
bought them all.
think as a collector the first guy that walked in there wouldn't buy every single one of them
You'd buy every single one.
and flip them?
You would. You would buy every
Yeah,
single one.
and the way for what I if I was playing devil's advocate and I'm thinking maybe as vendors they set some back for certain people, and that's why they jumped the line. It wasn't because they were jumping the line in front of anybody. It's because I've already got them held back for me or something. But I don't know. I tried to not I try not to crucify anybody without having all the information. And
Yeah,
if you
and I
know,
mean, it was a little bit of that. So there was a lot of there was actually one person for sure and a second one that facilitated the entire deal because they were owed and they wanted to have a really, big come up with these big social media influencers because this person was sort of a medium sized one. And I won't say his name on the air. I mean, I'll just let bygones be bygones.
no,
And
don't want to
like he,
right.
he kind of
Hold
facilitated that line jumping stuff because he ended up kind of being the guy. Wasn't it Nerdy Girl who ended up getting kind of pinned, I think, or I don't remember. Somebody got just absolutely, housed for it. But there was a couple of them that were involved in the facilitation for all of them. I just don't think they realized how many they were going to take, or how many were not going to be available at that point. And then you had the whole fact that the whole book was just junk. Yeah, I mean, it affected me
Garbage.
tremendously. What really
It
affected
was
me
a
more than
dollar bin book.
yeah, it really was. What really got me more than anything was just like it's so like stupid, but it was like how I was treated in the process for like I was like, man, I just want one or two of these things, and you're going to charge me a lot of money to get one or two of these things. I was livid over that, and I was like, man, all this friendship and camaraderie, and then you really saw what the Whatnot machine was and is, and you were like, wow. And I got to tell you, I mean, they have some absolutely garbage people working for that company. It just shocks me. There's a few good ones, don't get me wrong, but I've never
Yeah.
seen such gross mismanagement of a company, even an e-commerce company at that. It's insane. I
Uh,
mean, especially the cards. The cards are laughable. I mean, it's absolutely laughable how poorly managed that
uh,
entire sector is. I mean, you're just
well,
seeing scam after scam after scam. It's terrible.
I think I tried to sell twice on Whatnot and
Yeah.
just got absolutely destroyed on there
Well, that's
both
what it's
times.
become now. I mean, now everybody's a shopper again because it's all bargains. I mean, because nobody,
Right. And
you
the hack is, and I've told people that the Whatnot hack is don't go into them rooms with 500 people in them. Don't go
no.
into Winking's shop and shop him. He's got 5,000 people competing. Go to
Well, you're
Joe
good
Blow's. He's got three people. He's got
now.
three people bidding on books, and he's throwing up bangers up there, starting them at $1, like I did. And that's the.
No.
But
Well, I don't have anybody now. Like I've tried. I'm trying to avoid it. Going on to Whatnot again, but I don't know. I mean, I've had some success in multiple different categories, trying to kind of flip the script a little bit. I have an idea, like for for cards, to try to pull it back. I always try to market things as like, hey, I'm going to be the guy that actually, sends you way more than I should, or to keep the fun of the mystery game, but make sure you win. Like everybody can win, and it not be a just everybody get housed. But I don't know yet. I mean, I'll see how it goes. Yeah, they do the business cards. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
uh, well,
I'm all about those
in
3-letter logos or 3-name logos there. They're sayings.
and like I said, I think in my video, I said I'd like to do mystery boxes again because they're fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun to do. And but when I first started the channel, I was buying from everybody. Joe
Oh, yes.
Blow, you got a mystery? Give it here.
Yes.
But I mean, as I've grown and and learned, now I know that there's a select few that I can buy from and know I'm not going to get hosed.
Right.
You're one of them, and I got one coming tomorrow from Thunder God Kevin that
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
never hosed me. So I'm going to be a lot more selective. But I really enjoyed the mystery boxes, and I hate that I can't Thunder God. See,
Uh-oh.
speak of the devil, and he's there. Look at there.
Business card. That's not good. I'm usually pretty diligent about that.
Well,
I got to send Thunder God a business card now. I usually try to throw one in every box.
but I always tried to do. I did the same thing. I always tried to get above value. I think what kind of got me out of selling them was I kind of got I kind of got just ripped to shreds over a mystery box live on a live stream, and I won't mention who it was because I don't have any ill feelings. I know he wasn't trying to, but he goes, well, yeah, you got $100 worth of value. You got 100 freaking dollar bin books in there, and that
Yeah.
wasn't the case. I was trying to offload a crap ton of inventory that I had, and so I was making the boxes with 5 books in them that would exceed your value of what you paid, and then I threw in a bunch of random books that I just tried to want to get rid of. But it was crazy, and so and
Yeah. I
so
mean,
it kind of soured me.
yeah, and
Hey,
it's
don't
tough.
open my mystery box.
Yeah, it will.
Well, Man, Kevin, no, he juiced my box, Kevin. He juiced
Yeah.
it a little bit. I don't know. I never, like I was talking to you before. You talked about it. You have a bunch of inventory you'd like to get rid of, and I was telling you
Yeah.
if you're interested in doing a bulk thing. I said I don't need Mylar. I don't need 9/8. I don't need any of that. Just some cool books. I'm buying bulk, but I said, but don't do that. Like you
Well, so I mean,
don't
you know,
do
your
don't do
box.
this, Alex.
I don't. Yeah, that
Don't
needs to
put
get.
that.
Don't shoot that slab now. Damn it.
I'm not going to shoot that slab. I am
It's
a.
funny
I
you were
say,
picking apart the 9.2 as well, because like that grade shocked me, and I kind of screwed myself
I
because I
was
cleanly pressed all of those books, and
yeah, and
I
I'm looking at it and I'm going, how the hell did this get a 9.2?
well, I'll tell you exactly how. I did exactly what CGC told us to do. CGC puts out, marketing content. And when Matt Nelson does a lot of interviews with like Elite Comics 11, he tells you, hey, submit multiple copies of the same book, because then the graders can look at them and you'll have a much higher chance at getting maybe a 9.9 or higher grades. Well, I think I sent almost 30 copies of Omega Men 3. And what I
Oh,
think got me burned was, I mean, I had a stack of 9.2s, a stack of 9.4s, a stack of 9.6s, and a stack of 9.8s. And I think with them being all in that close of a comparison, I probably would have gotten a lot more 9.8s had I maybe broken them up a little bit. I want to, maybe it was 28 to 30 of them. I was like, golly.
well,
Um,
but
it is
I
what it is.
mean,
I've got a lot of stuff at CGC right now, and what can you do?
if I were a slab guy, I would almost crack this sucker and resubmit it. But I don't know that the difference between a 9.8 copy and a 9.2 copy when you go through the expense of resubmitting and all that. I don't know
Well,
that
the
there's
risk
that
is
much.
worth the reward. The 9.2 is a
Yeah,
$105 to $135 book, and the 9.8's a $3 to $350. So
yeah.
it's just really not worth that risk to maybe even get a 9.6. No, I'm glad Thunder got. It's funny because after I sent Stevie his box, it got me kind of thinking about like, like how would I want to do like a Swan Song of boxes, and I still don't know. But I mean, like if people ask me to curate them, because like I was talking to Stevie B, and I don't mind sharing this. Like I want to move about 80% of what I have. I've got, I mean, it's a lot, but it's still, I mean, it wouldn't change anything you would see up here on the slab wall or any of that. But I thought about like, okay, do you reach out to like a few of the friends I have in the community to see if they could use it for inventory, or do you? What would be a cooler thing is because they're going to give me 50% of fair market value, probably, right? Like maybe not even that now. I don't know, anywhere from 45 to 60. So I'm
Well,
like,
but
man, why don't I just do that for my friends? Like if they get a mystery box, let's just double the value and just be like, it's almost just like selling it at 50% fair market value or something. I don't know. I was thinking about it. Like, how do you really bring a mystery box back? And I don't know. There's not a lot of traction on them, but just kicking ideas around.
well, like I said, I have kind of reinvented the way I collect. If you see that's a bad example because I got quite a few moderns on the wall, but I've gravitated more towards bronze and older stuff because
Yeah.
I'm just falling back in love with it and stuff. And that's why I was telling you is I'm like, I know you bought collections. You cherry pick what you want out of them, and then you're left with books that you just don't care about,
Right.
and then you've got a massive amount of inventory and you need to get rid of it. So, that's what I say. Sell bulk boxes, man. Just don't, say, hey,
There's a
I'll
market for
load
them,
you
though.
up with I'm sitting there telling you I would buy one.
Yeah,
but
I know. I mean, like
but
I
I my
use know how many bulk boxes I can make back here. It would be rough because now that I'm into cleaning and pressing, like, and I have like fallen into this tremendously. I am working on bigger books now, big boy stuff. Like I'm really focusing on that stuff. Like, and what got me started on it was improved collecting. I don't know if you know James
Yeah.
or Jim over there. He's just, man, and I'm like part of that community. Like I'm on the Discord. I've watched the videos. Like I've even bought the same 2 presses that he had in his videos right there. I mean, just
Yeah.
I mean, it's been an unbelievable experience, and I don't know. It's just a whole different side of it that I never really thought I'd fall for or like, and I just like the slower pace and the intentionality behind it, I guess.
So I was going to ask you about I had noticed you posted a few pictures of some presses and stuff. Is
Yeah.
that a personal use press, or are you planning at some point in the future offering a pressing service for people?
Well, so here's my only problem with the pressing service thing. Like, I don't think I could do it right. Where what you find out is when you get into pressing, and this is definitely not a knock on any of these guys that do big giant bulk orders, because I use them still to this day. To do it
Right.
right, it is a multi-day, multi-hour process. And you can get as detailed and granular with it as you want. So I don't know if I would ever feel comfortable offering that service if I wasn't able to provide like 110% to every book. And it wouldn't make sense
Exactly.
financially for me to do it, like it would be a catch 22 for me, because I'm not going to put 20 hours into an Omega Men 3 for somebody, but I'm also not ballsy enough to
Right.
work on their ASM, 129 that's a 9.0 or higher. So I'm
Right.
like,
That's why I
you know,
those guys. Yeah, those guys have got to be have got some brass to take on somebody's $10,000 book and say, yeah, I can work magic on that, and because God, it
yeah.
only takes one slip up and you owe
Oh
somebody 10 grand.
Oh, dude, I have,
And
there's
I just don't know how to do it.
there's a few that
What's up,
made
James?
egregious errors on. What's going on, James? Good to see you, man. I've made some egregious errors on that I had to
I
correct.
told you the faithfuls.
They're here. I know. It's good to see everybody. I'm sorry. I skipped a few people here. Like somebody had asked. So Quick Draw just said, kind of going back to the cons. He said, "What about them jumping the line with boxes of stuff for Peach Momoko
Yeah,
to
we
sign?"
talked about that.
Yeah, the New York, that was at New York Comic Con, and that was everybody though. That wasn't just the influencers. Everybody was mobbing poor Peach for the
Yeah,
free sign.
I'm
You know,
glad. Personally, I have a lot of respect that she got up and walked away from it and
I
said,
do
"I'm
too,
not going to be
and that's another situation
Yeah,
where I
it's the right
probably
thing."
admit that I would have been throwing a few elbows to get up there to get a few things signed, but that would have been for my PC, not for anything else. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
caught up in that
you
hysteria
know,
too.
I'm not a I'm not as big a fan of Peach's artwork, as
Yeah.
but I like I said, it's kind of like Comic Tom. I wasn't so much of a fan of his until he went on Sucky Duck's channel.
Oh, sticky goose and just
Oh
eviscerate.
yeah, yeah. We don't
Yeah.
say his name because he might lawyer up on me or something.
Oh,
But
he's not anybody to be afraid of. Man. I don't
I
know. Like I
know.
see a little bit of myself in that guy. I want you to think about what he does for a living.
No, God,
I don't want
don't
to
say
be
that.
sympathetic, but I want you to think about like what this guy does for a living, and in the mental impact
He's
that
a
toll.
shock jock.
Oh man, he's a
Well,
dentist
he is.
for underprivileged children. And you think about like when you look at that kid who's 7 or 8, who has irreparable damage to their mouth in West Virginia and the hill. He's seen probably horrific things. And that
Right.
would cause you, and believe me, I've been in his mental state before where you try to find an outlet to forget that, and a lot of times you end up channeling something else that you don't intend to. And I don't want to give the guy too much grace here, but I
Well,
can see that.
I
I can see sometimes the anxiety in his eyes, or the just the like, just the angst, where he's just like, man, I mean, I've got to go back to this reality. And I've seen people, oh, you've got a good life, you make a lot of money, and it's like, man, you don't know that I'm there. I'm there a lot now, like where I mean, like I have 270 people I'm responsible for, and man, it takes its toll on you. And sometimes you
right.
channel
I,
that toll in a bad way.
Well, I get that, and I would, you know, I would lean that way if he didn't go on there and basically flat out say that he just wanted to be a bad guy YouTuber, and
Yeah.
he wants to be the Howard Stern equivalent of comic book YouTubers, the
Yeah.
shock jock. But I will give him one thing. One thing's for sure. Check this out.
The sticker people shirt. Look at that. See,
Yeah,
that's
I
funny, but
give him credit. He
he
coined
did.
the phrase "sticker people," and I embraced it, and I loved it. I was like,
It was
so
good. I
I
mean, he had his moments, man. He did, and what's funny, and I know he's still doing it. I think he's just he's Sticky Goose now. He's not Sticky Goose Comics. He's still doing it, and what's funny is like in kind of seeing like him, and he's fearless on the mic. Like he'll put out information that's completely wrong. Then he'll just kind of put a vague comment like, "Oh, I got that messed up," which again, I kind of respect that a little bit. Where I'm like, if you're that fearless on the mic and you're like, "Okay, I'm good." And Comic Tom is like that a lot. Like, not to say he puts a lot of negative stuff or false stuff out there or even wrong stuff.
try not to.
No, it's gonna happen though. It's an inevitability. And
Nothing was more embarrassing than when Mike Ackery called me out on his mystery box unboxing that I did. What had happened there was the eBay uh, there was something jacked up with eBay. So when you went to last sold, it didn't list them from most recent
oh,
to oldest. So when I went and did it, the eBay grinder on his mystery box, it was pulling up last sold, but it wasn't the last sold. It was the one that was sold like 6 months, 7 months prior, and so I gave it an incorrect value, and I felt so bad because though I think when I figured it all up, it broke even, for what I paid.
oh
I
yeah,
wasn't even mad,
right. Thanks for the box. Better
yeah,
watch
well,
out. Those people in the Secret Service, he'll get you.
right. But he was like, he called me or he called me out on it, which I'm glad he did. I mean,
Yeah.
I but I felt bad because if I'm nothing if I don't have my integrity. At least I try to be transparent, honest, and try to be fair when I evaluate boxes. But I kind of switched off the eBay grinder because of it, because I didn't want I don't want to incorrectly value somebody's mystery boxes because of an error like that, and then but it happens. I mean, you're right.
No, you messed this live stream. You spelled my name wrong in the video
Did
title.
I not either?
Yeah, you
Huh?
did. I had to call you out on it, just like Ackery. I'm here for you, Ackery. I don't know if you're not watching, but I'm here for you, buddy. You got me too. Let's see if he sees it.
What did I
You said
misspell?
you're live with AX
What?
Wink Michael.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Hey, I missed the hell. I was trying to hurry. I was trying to figure this stuff out. If they
Yeah,
don't know who you are by
this is
now,
perfect. You set me up too perfectly for it. I had to take it. I could not take it. Yeah.
I got broad shoulders. I can take it.
Oh man. No,
But man,
it's funny you say
huh?
that about like the because that was another thing that really bothered me about YouTube was the misconceptions people would have, or if you did, do something. A lot of times people jump to conclusions, just like the acetate gate thing, and like it was like that journey into mystery box thing I dealt with.
Oh
Like
yeah,
a couple people were like, and I was a little surprised it wasn't more of them, but I was like, I don't know this guy at all. Obviously, he's a doofus. I don't know, and it did bring up a lot of really good information. Like it really did bring up a lot of like good things people should take into consideration. Like YouTubers
it
will
did.
probably get juiced mystery boxes. Like that's probably going to happen.
Some,
And nobody asks for it,
I,
or at least I wouldn't. I didn't ask for it. And sometimes
no,
I
I
didn't get
never asked.
back when the guy sold the $750 box. I think that's what it was. I didn't buy one because I was
Yeah,
like, man, this guy, he does okay, but I don't think it's a guy I'd spend $750 with. And I didn't realize, like through my $300 video that so many people would jump on that bandwagon and buy those boxes. I was like, oh my God. And that's when I started to realize, like, maybe this is, you got to watch that a little bit, you got to reel that in to some degree.
Yeah, that was such an unfortunate whole
Oh yeah. I mean,
situation.
mean,
I felt bad. I felt bad that people got taken for a ride for those,
yeah, me too. Me
and I
too. Yeah.
don't I can't say with 100% certainty that the guy did it intentionally, well, as much as he just screwed up,
I mean, I think
but
he was a genuine guy. Like, I think he screwed up. I think he just didn't realize. I don't know if he like came into a collection or something and was new to it and got caught. He was just really happy to sell the stuff or what. But he definitely was in over his head. I mean, what I think the story was is that he was pricing things that were for graded prices instead of like what they were.
uh,
I think that
he
was
was looking at a key collector.
yeah, he
He
was
was
doing
looking at
something
that high.
where he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, yeah, this is worth this or this is worth that," and that's where he got burned. I don't know if he ever made it right. I mean, he wasn't like the slab boxes guy who just like completely disappeared. Like that guy just fell off the face of the earth and never came back. And I don't know how many people got taken on that deal. I actually did a little bit too, but I didn't really make a big stink about it because he said somebody had passed away, like his mom passed away or something. I don't know. It was a
yeah,
weird thing. There's that was the other thing about the whole comic thing that really bothers me is, man, there are so many scammers and used car salesmen and just people that are just trying to get over on everybody. I mean, you can't buy a comic book from a Facebook marketplace thing, like, or not marketplace, but like a Facebook group. Geez, they're all
no,
scammers. This is insane. Like, I was like,
yeah,
there's so many of them that are just, and think about how many have come and gone in our community just since we were, a part of it. I mean,
right.
it's a crazy number. We could sit here and talk about names all night of people that have come and gone. What about Comic Ron? Remember him? I mean, you
I
could.
was gonna,
I mean, geez, Jay Blitz.
oh,
Who saw that coming?
Jay,
I remember when I first met
oh,
Fu in person, and I've spent a good amount of time with Fu here. I mean, I mean,
he,
Fu's honestly, I'll talk to you about it. Like, but he's changed like my entire percent, like maybe even like collecting goals to some degree. Like man, he's had a profound impact on like how I collect, maybe even how I interact with a hobby. He's man, he's a good dude. Like, I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, he has just some of the most stand up character of somebody that I've ever come across. I wish I could spend more time with him. I wish that we don't live that far apart. But I went to his house
right.
and he's just a really really good dude and it's just really
Oh,
sharp.
I
And
agree.
definitely from the YouTube thing he did. I don't think he's coming
I
back either.
don't, and I don't see here. I okay. Everybody knows, pretty much about me and Squatchy. We just couldn't get along. I don't have nothing personal against the guy. We were just two conflicting personalities, and we couldn't hit it off. And we just, no matter how much both of us tried to get along, we just couldn't. So, at that point, it's just best to just, you know. But with Fu, it was different. See, because I thought I I thought Fu and I were good. I
Oh, you
pissed him
are.
off.
I'm sure you are.
Well, he's ghosted me, and he's ghosted. I mean, even Comic Vantage, who they were pretty tight. And he said he hadn't heard from him and stuff.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
and
I think a guy like for a guy like Fu, that friendship transcends social media. And I think for him, he just wanted to get out of that social media machine to sort of get maybe re-engaged with sort of his collecting roots or, to focus more on the things that matter, and because he's a pretty successful dude. And I'm with you. It's hard to,
right.
I'll bet you money. Like one day he'll come around. I think he will. I mean, he's dealing
Well,
with a lot of
here's
stuff, doing stuff. And I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the dude's doing well, but
Well, that's not okay. I've never been one to beg anyone to be my friend.
right, right,
I've never had felt like I shouldn't have to talk you into being my friend. We're either friends or we're not friends.
right.
And if we're not friends, that's fine. Squatchy and I can't be friends, and that's fine. I don't hold any ill will. Wish him the best of luck and everything. But me and Squatchy pretty much had closure. We're both like, we just can't be around each
Yeah,
other. We just grate on each other too bad. But with Foo, it was just like 1 minute we're chatting away, and the next minute he was gone. And no, well, in the last time I saw him on YouTube, he was on an episode of
Classo.
oh
That's
yeah,
Classo's thing.
yeah,
Fanboys. Yeah,
yeah. And I had typed in there and I made a comment about I'm a little slow at typing, and Fu went, yeah, among other things. And he kind of made that offhanded, backhanded comment, which made me think, okay, well, is he implying that I'm not getting the hint that he doesn't want to be my friend anymore or something? But
no, I
we
think he's
never had a
risen you like he always does. Like Foo's one of
no,
those.
it was different because
Yeah,
after that I've tried to message him on Instagram. He won't respond and stuff. So I
is he
don't
even
know.
on Instagram anymore? Like, I mean, I know he has his account, but I don't know if he ever logs in and messes with it. I'm not like coming from a place where I see this guy like every weekend, but Foo's one of those guys, man. Like, it'll be a few months before we connect, or he's going to be one of those guys in your life that you're going to run across 3 years from now, and you're just going to hug, and you're just going to have to kind of take, like, hey, he's going to be that guy that wants to focus on other things and take care of stuff. It was, I mean, he did that YouTube stuff pretty consistently for a long time, but
Right.
I don't think he harbors any ill will or resentment towards anybody. I think he's just focusing on all his,
Well,
everything
and that
he's
would be fine. I wished he would just say, "Hey, nothing personal. I've just got
got.
this going on right now, and I don't have time for comic book, social media or something." But yeah, I mean, and I even heard he doesn't really even talk. He doesn't talk to Squatchy either anymore, and those two
Yeah,
are
I
peas in a
don't know.
pod.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, that's the only thing. I don't harbor any ill feelings towards anybody. He was my first friend on here, and I kind of miss him. I wished
Yeah,
I knew what was
I
going on, and
I think you'll hear from him again at some point.
I
He's
wished he
doing all
would cuss me out and say I hate your guts and screw you, and then at least I would have some closure.
yeah,
But
yeah. He's
I
no,
don't know.
he's
I hope he's doing okay.
yeah, yeah. No, I'd be surprised if you wouldn't hear from him again. You guys will all probably hear from him at some point. He's doing good.
Well,
At least the last time
like I
I
said, I don't know if he got some misinformation about me or something, but
no, nothing
and
like
maybe
that.
I am. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe he's
Yeah,
just got better
yeah.
things to do. But
Well, I'm gonna tell
like
you
I
right now,
said,
if I've been talking to you for a few years, just remember it was nothing personal, and I'll love you again someday. All right.
well, yeah, even you and I we don't talk as much as we used to,
No, yeah, but that's part of it.
we still if I hit you up, you still answer me
Oh yeah, well,
eventually.
yeah,
Might
I
be
do do
4 or
that.
5 hours down the line.
Yeah, no, I do that.
But
And I'm with you. I mean, it's tough sometimes. Everybody's different, and everybody handles things differently, and it's a tough space. I mean, there's a lot of different people all in the same space, and it used to work and gel, and now it just doesn't for some reason. Just the divisiveness has gotten at the community, and
yeah,
it seems to sort of, maybe, is it rubber banding back? I don't really know. I've kind of just disassociated with a lot of it. I don't know if it's
it's
not.
not.
I mean, even with the
Not
small
really.
core group, it's no, it's yeah. I mean,
It's
that's
not. I mean, not to call you guys out or anything, but even the guys in the chat that were, Kevin, he doesn't put out as much content as he used to. Warlord, he doesn't ever put out any content anymore. And don't get me wrong, I'm not calling you guys out or nothing like that. I'm just
yeah.
saying, Johnny Five, he used to put out content on a regular basis. don't see anything from him anymore. Um,
Oh yeah, I mean, man, all that, man,
so
that's crazy.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I see that's I mean, I guess that's where I don't care about any of the other stuff. I do my YouTube channel for me, and if people want to, and if people subscribe and they interact with me, I'm thankful for it and I'm glad for it and I enjoy that. And but it's not why I do it, and I don't. I'm not. I have no delusions of being another comic Tom or
right.
I'm not. I have no delusions of making a living from my YouTube channel. All I it's an outlet for me, and and in it allows me to express myself with and I don't. It's not important to me how many people watch it or how many subscribers I have or it's just therapeutic for me. It's something that I enjoy. So the drama that involved within the ecosystem, as you like to call it,
Yeah, yeah,
or the
ecosystem.
is uh is non-sequential or it's insequential to me. I don't really. I mean, occasionally I'll address the sticky gooses when he went
Yeah,
on there with the sticker people rant and everything. I'll address it because I'm like you. I don't shy away from conflict, and I love a good debate. I love to I love to give my 2 cents. It's better when you can bounce it off of some people like you and
yeah,
I. We could sit here and go on and on about CGC all day long because
right, right.
the but
Well, I might be
you
more in your
know
camp
I,
now. I mean, that
huh?
might be a good one. I might be more in your camp on that now. Jeez,
Well,
they're
yeah,
killing.
I
They're
yeah, I get it, Thunder God. Hey, you don't have to make excuses, Kevin. I know. I wasn't asking for. I'm just saying that people are just kind of falling off uh, the the map here. I don't see the a lot of the ones that popped up in my feed all the time, constantly,
yeah,
just don't pop up in them anymore. Tim, he pops a video off every once in a while.
yeah.
But there was a lot of them that I never missed. Rude Planet, Matt, I loved watch his content. He was he was so much fun to
Is he done
watch, and
too? He's gone.
he hasn't. He's on. He's one of the few people, and I say this because um, I I don't want people to take offense to what I'm about to say. My Facebook page, I generally keep for family members and close personal friends
Yeah,
that I know. And sometimes when subscribers find me on Facebook and try to add me, I kind of don't because I kind of like to keep that space private.
yeah,
But Matt is one of the few that is actually on there. Matt and Gene Mallow,
yeah.
I think, are a few that are actually have my Facebook account. But so I still talk to Matt. I see Matt post. He always posts a bunch of memes that only he understands. I don't
Yeah,
get the joke. He's
the
too
whole channel.
intelligent for me.
That was great. I didn't understand
but
any of it, but I loved it. I love that channel.
oh, I get it. But yeah, I kind of miss him. I kind of miss his content. I miss your content.
Do you
I
think,
never
like,
missed an episode.
I think about this a lot, like, like a lot in the sense of like if you're thinking about social media, like, do you think? Because I always had this theory about YouTube that it kind of kept us segregated in like pockets. Where like, was there another YouTube comic community like ours? Just we never
Yes.
saw it because YouTube, like a whole nother sector of people,
Oh,
like
um,
just like us that we like have we been replaced now? Like is there a new YouTubers that we're not seeing? Like they're not getting into our algorithm that are comic creators? I know there's a lot of newer faces. I don't know if there's as many as the COVID
um,
era, right? Like the pandemic really
that's
changed it, but you know, it turned into just hyperbole of creative content, you know, but I don't know.
That's a good question.
Like maybe we're
that
not
is a
finding
good question.
maybe there is another Wink somewhere. Maybe there is another you know, somebody that we just have never seen. I come across some every now and then that I was like, how did I not know about this massive comic YouTube channel?
Well,
Like, you know,
that's
like
it. Well, it's like our solar system, man. Surely somewhere
yeah,
out there
there's
there's
life.
another solar system.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
life
there's life
somewhere else
somewhere.
out there, right?
There's life.
That's what I always think about. I'm like, man, how do I tap into those
Yeah,
unknown pockets? Like I've seen a lot of like here recently a few like newer ones that are pretty big. Or they're not maybe they're not newer, but I'm like, wow, why was that not in my ecosystem when I was doing you know, content? Like that would have been a person I would have loved
right.
to have collabed with, but I don't know. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
I also noticed like as a grizzled YouTube or social media comic veteran, you do see the cyclical nature of the machine, right? Like you see people come and go, you see scammers come and go, and you kind of
Right,
just like it's pretty. It does make Comic Tom like really impressive that he has maintained that resilience for so long and still continued to not only grow but monetize his growth and
right.
not
And
get crucified for it, which is
and
pretty impressive.
survive all the slings and arrows that have been thrown at him.
Yeah, I
But
mean, really, it's that's a guy that gets it, man. Like, and anybody can hate on him all they want, but dude, I'm gonna tell you, I've met him, hung out with him, and he's real. I mean, he's as real as they come. I mean, he loves this stuff. He eats, sleeps, and breathes
Ryan
it.
Ryan just saw him today, I think, at
Oh, Dallas
the
Fan Expo.
Dallas Expo. Yeah,
Yeah.
said he was a cool guy. He said and
Oh,
chatted with him
dude,
for a
he's
few minutes. He was
unbelievable.
pretty cool.
If yeah, if you, I mean, like, man, I mean, I've been to dinner with him. Like, this is what he does, and he loves every second of it. The passion he has for it's amazing, but he also understands the business side, and his purpose for it is really impressive. Like he doesn't. It's not just about the money for him, but it's about the money into the economy of comics for him. Like
Right.
it's really profound. Like it would be amazing if you took that guy out of comics, where they would be. I think it would make an impact.
Right.
I think it would make an impact for sure. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Well, and you know, people always, they talk about the flippers and the people that go into their LCS and buy every copy of every
Yeah,
book and all this, and I'm thinking to myself, you got to understand DC, Marvel, Image, they don't give a crap who's buying their books as long as somebody's buying them. If, as I used an example, I said, if you had an orange cart and you were selling oranges and one person bought every single one of your oranges, you wouldn't care if they were taking your oranges and marking them up 50 cents and selling them to somebody else because you still got your money. And I said, and that's what keeps the comic book community alive is the money. As
that's
long as the
right.
money keeps flowing in, so they're not ruining.
No,
They're not
no.
people. They're
I
not
think
ruining comics.
I mean, to take it even
They're
a step further.
pissing collectors off, but they're not ruining the comic book
Yeah.
industry.
Well, and to
They're
take it a step
probably keeping
further
it
is
afloat.
that's exactly right. They are a necessary evil. I mean, if you didn't have
Yeah,
that this would be long dead. You wouldn't see any of these books on your wall. It would have stopped in probably 1994, and it would have been killed dead forever if you didn't have people chasing this stuff and you didn't have that flip. You have to have, especially for
yeah.
physical media. I mean, it's physical media is trying to die. They are trying to kill it with every possible way they can. They want to kill
Oh,
anything physical or printed, and
they keep.
it would.
Oh,
It
they
would it,
keep trying. They keep trying to say
yeah.
do away with print comics and be all digital. But I don't think that would be a successful. It'd be successful as a secondary market, but I don't think it'd be successful as a primary because I
Uh,
think people people want this and they want this on their wall. They want to hold this. They want to, they
well,
want to display these. You can't do
yeah, I
that.
mean, a certain generation of people do. There's no doubt, but
Right.
I think where comics fits from a consumer consumption point is, and this is the future when it does inevitably get out of physical print, because it will. Um,
Don't
it's
say
going to
that.
be. I know, but you know they've already started it. Just like I want you to think about like Blockbuster in movies, and when Netflix disrupted that market. Well, all Netflix has to do is say, "Hey, guess what? We have Marvel Comics now on our Netflix in our subscription plan. For $2 more a
Right.
month, you're going to get Marvel Comics stories, and you're going to have the Marvel Comics library and app, and all of these writers and creators are going to create this content for you." And then you're going to start to see, okay, now does it make sense? Are they going to get their money? You know, because that app, I got to tell you, man, those apps, because that's the only way I read now. Like I have all these physical books, but the only way I read is on the apps. And I love it because I'm such a
Under-
terrible comic book reader. Like I can go panel by panel. I'm like, oh my God, I
oh,
can
me
actually follow
too.
the story. Like I was like, this is
But
amazing. I've read more than I ever thought I would.
right, but you still have this.
I do.
You,
Well,
I
I'm one of
mean,
you. Don't think I'm not.
I'll
I'm just,
never.
yeah, I'm one of you. I want to have it, but I think it's inevitable.
I'll never buy an AF-15. It's never going to be in the cards for me unless you know meteor falls out of the sky and it lands in my lap. But it's never going to happen.
Right.
So for digital, for me to be able to read that, that is an awesome tool to have.
Right, right.
But as a collector, your digital does not appeal to people who collect. That's
Right.
what I guess I'm trying to say.
Well,
And
you got
you know, that's like
that's but when the 9-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 6-year-olds come up through the world digitally, they don't care about collecting unless, you know, that's going
right.
to dissipate more and more with each generation, I guess. I think is what the writing on the wall is. Now, that'll be great for you collectors or us collectors because
Right.
boy, stuff's out
Well,
of print maybe is when it goes to the moon and you're going to be like, "Oh boy."
but
You know.
this generation does collect. They may not be
They do.
comic books right now, but they still collect, and they you know so being a collector hasn't gone out of favor yet. It's
No,
like
no.
Pokemon cards. You know, I
Right.
don't collect them, but somebody does.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think there's always going to be collectors.
It's a
And
human
I
need to
think if
collect. I mean, that's we've been doing that since the
uh,
caveman era. You know, we collected rocks, we collected
right,
sticks. You know, it's in our instinct to collect, but eventually somebody is going to disrupt that to some degree, and you're seeing that already to a little bit. And again, I'm talking about years,
well,
decades, and maybe
well,
even 100, maybe a century before you can get out of physical collecting to where
possibly.
people are like,
But when they got holograms and you know, but
yes, we're
and
not
that
there yet, but
no, and
yeah.
that's possible, but I
I love that
like I
comic.
said, I think
Hank Kendall's all over our wall. It's so funny because I had a stupid NFT display up here. It's exactly that's how physical collecting I am. I had to get a stupid $1,500 display to display my NFTs before it broke, and I was like, okay, this was stupid. It's just so I,
NFTs. See, I still to
uh,
this day, no clue or understanding of what an NFT is. It's like a virtual action figure or something. I don't know.
yeah, well, you just
It's like
download.
you buy something that you don't really have, huh?
Yeah,
What's that?
it's exactly right. You're probably saying it better than anybody. It's just something you don't own that's on the blockchain that really doesn't matter because nobody wants them anymore. I mean, it's just it's it was a fad.
I, I'm like, I don't under. I mean that's they're trying to make that like the future of collecting, and I was like, so you're gonna take my money and not give me anything in return except a little thing that says, guess what? You own this thing that you can never have.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe if you download the right crap, you can look at it, and sometimes you can't even do that. So,
right.
what's up,
I'm
comics?
like, I don't know. I just, like I said, I think what will happen, in my opinion, I think some idiot at one of these publishing companies is going to go full digital first.
Yeah, somebody's going to do it.
And when they do, nobody's going to buy them, and everybody's going to run it to another company and buy. And then and I think they're going to see a miserable failure in that endeavor for
Well,
now.
the good news for kind of what you're saying though is right now the momentum. So when you start writing a book, think about that. Like you start digitally, but your goal is always to get to print. Like
Right.
I want my product or my property or my intellectual property, what I created, to get so popular that people want to buy the print of it. So that
Right.
mindset hasn't shifted yet. So in that case, we're still good, right? Because if you can get it popular enough to where people will buy the print of it, then now you're talking. It's when the monetization
Yeah.
can shift to where it's like, oh man, I can collect $15 a month and not hassle with shipping and logistics and printing, and I can just collect this money and write the shit. This is great, Until we get there,
Yeah.
that's gonna have to be some pretty profound writing, though. I'm gonna say well, boy, you're gonna have to be.
But I just
hold on yet.
my mind can't grasp hey, oh, I own a copy of Amazing Fantasy number 15. Really? Can I see it? Yeah, hold on just a second. Let me get it on my phone here. Pull it up and I'll show.
When I did that, like VV Comics, I think I called it Vive, and they crucified me. I was like, it's spelled VEVE. I even had VV Comics, the people, reach out to me. They wanted to do a collaboration with me. They're like, dude, this video was great. Like, you were talking about our platform, and I had like that whole VV community in my comments. That video had like 400 comments. It was one of my later ones, one of the last ones I did. And I was like, man, these guys were on it. They loved that somebody from the physical realm was covering their stuff. And I'm like, you people don't get it. Like this is I'm like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a great little accessory, a great little adder. I love the exposure that it gives comics, because what I know is going to happen is you guys are going to eventually say, well, I'm just going to buy a comic book now. I'm tired of looking on my app here. Let me just buy one of these things. And I was like, that's great exposure. But I was like, man,
no, nothing will ever replace the hunt. Nothing will ever replace the display. It's people that have never picked up a comic book in their life will come over to my house and they say, I got to see your comic book room. And then I open the door and they walk in and go, holy crap, that's cool. It makes me feel good. It's a lot of work. A lot of sweat equity went into,
well, it's art. I mean,
and a lot of these books were, and some of these books were A-OKs. The bigger books were from Foo, and even Squatchy and Chad, rest his soul, and I'm so grateful, because there's a lot of these books I'd never be able to own, and people come through for me, and I miss that. Not getting stuff, but that kind of camaraderie, not getting free shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. Like, this stuff will, no matter where I go in life or where it takes me. Like, I've always said that. Like, man, this whole comic book community space changed my life forever, and in a weird way, it still continues to do so. No matter how far you remove yourself from it, it's still there. Even when you like come into your room, right? And you're looking around, and I look at all the history that's on this wall, and it's not the history of the comic book. It's the history of, man, I remember when Chad gave me that. Man, that asshole kept me until 3:30 in the morning talking on the phone, and I look around the room, and it just, every one of these books has a story, and it's not the story that's in it. It's the story of how you got it, and where it came from, and what it meant, and all the art that I have that people drew for me, that sent me, and I'll never get rid of it. I'll always have it on the wall. It's just, it really does. It makes me think, wow, man, this is an incredible, really cool thing. It really is. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, I agree I don't think paper comics are going anywhere either.
In a long time.
This is one I get a lot. Miss the Mystery
Man show. Yeah, I know. It was a good show.
You and me both, man. I miss it too. I really do. I know everybody just kind of went their separate ways, You know, there was no big blow up, no big controversy to talk about. It just kind of fizzled, you know. But
I'll tell you, man, my goal, like, coming up, was to get on the Mystery Men show permanently. Like, I think I've told you that before. I wanted to be there permanently. When I was on there the one time, I was like, I want to be a part of this because it was really incredible.
You think you do?
Oh, I know. You know how it is on the backside. Yeah.
You think me and Squatchy didn't get along? Oh my God, you and Squatchy. Oh, yeah, I think it would. Oh my God, the thing, I spent more time defending you to Squatchy than in chats than because he thought you're not a collector, you're just a flipper. You're not a collector. You're not a real collector, and I'm sure you've gotten that from more than one person. You're not a collector. You're just and I take it as a badge of honor if I were you, because that means you're important enough to somebody that they feel like they got to tear you apart. So you made it, man.
You made it. Yeah. Huh? No, you're always going to get that. Everybody at some point in this hobby, no matter who you are, has been accused of being a flipper. And in a way, we all are. You know, we've talked about all that before. We're all flipping to fund the hobby, to collect. I mean, that's everybody. Even Comic Tom's doing it. I mean, all of them are doing it. They're flipping to collect. And now maybe there's a few that aren't. Obviously, there's always an outlier where they're just trying to make money.
Anybody that buys a comic book and sells it for more than what they paid for it is flipping a comic book.
They're flipping.
So everybody in the hobby is a flipper at some point. Maybe not to the extent of others, but and I don't care. You know, if you can buy low, sell high, you know, people do it in the stock market every day. If you can buy low, sell high, and make a few extra bucks to support your hobby, more power to you, man.
We're all doing it.
You ain't ruining my collecting experience. No. And people will say, well, they drive the prices up when they do that. And don't pay them. They'll come back down. Calm down. Let it sit for a minute. Prime example of that is that Milkbone Dog Biscuit Superman exclusive that I got in the mail. I said, oh, I want one because they're cool. Those things are selling for almost $100 on eBay right now. People didn't get one. They only made like 1,000 of them, and people didn't get one, and they're going, oh, and they're paying this ridiculous price. I said, calm down. Let that movie come out. Let everybody see the cute dog, and then it'll blow in the past, and then you'll get it for $5.
Yep. Yep. So it's hard to educate people. But you have to live it. You know, you have to live it. You have to watch that happen, and we all started pissed off. Like, oh, this is, and then you realize you're like, oh, that did.
Well, I've overpaid.
Oh, me Super too.
Super Sons. But to answer your question, Kevin, Kevin, this has come up before, and actually with Warlord and I, we talked about putting together some kind of a live show again and try to recapture the magic, but it's been the scheduling conflicts. It's been the biggest hurdle to get over, and so if we could get past the scheduling hurdles, we might be able to work on some kind of a weekly show. But that's the hard part.
Man, so how close have you guys got? When's the last time you talked about that? I'm putting you all on blast right now. Like, when did that?
I think. Man, it's been a while. I think Warlord and I talked about me, him, and Johnny 5 maybe doing a weekly show, but that's probably been 4 months ago or so.
Okay. It's not killed dead yet. He didn't say 2 years ago, so.
Well, no. But yeah, I would love to have a,
but
weekly roundtable.
Is Vantage still doing boxes?
Huh?
Is Comic Vantage still doing boxes? Is he still doing?
He stopped again for a while. He's kind of like you. He's kind of like, I'm done with it. I'll poke my head back in for a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I'm done with it again. No, I'm gonna poke my head back. But he's kind of off and on.
Boxes for it.
Well, I I missed the boxes, but to be fair, I wasn't always in a position I could get one. So,
Yeah, that's the
but
hard part because funding that show is really difficult because you got to send everybody a box and for it to work,
right,
right? Like, and that's where Vantages were great because it was $40, which was somewhat manageable for like food to send to somebody, and then everybody's got to get
yeah,
one. It's
I
I don't
felt
know.
bad because some of us like me and Squatchy weren't in a financial place to where we could buy $40 mystery boxes every week for somebody. So yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, well, that's tough. I mean, yeah, you're doing it every week. I forgot about that. You guys ran that every week, right? Was it Tuesday night? I can't remember. Or Thursday.
it was. I think it was. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Tuesdays. But see,
Yeah.
like right now, I got to work tomorrow night. My schedule has changed.
Oh, really?
And be Comic Vantage mystery box. Yeah, so that's why I had to cancel on you for. We were going to do this Sunday, and I had to cancel Sunday because I got roped into working. My best friend, who also works out there with me, um, he they found he's got bladder cancer in his bladder,
Oh,
and so he's
man.
been out. And I know it's been kind of rough, but he's been out for a while. They went in there and they said it was pretty aggressive, so they're gonna have to do a second surgery on him and kind of dig a little deeper to try to get it.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I hope for the best for him. And before
Yeah,
I kind of gets out, um, I mean, I'll share this with you guys. We have just a few in the room, so I mean, it'll get out. I don't know to what extent Rob's going to make his video. I sent Rob a really it's just a different kind of box. Like he actually picked one of the boxes up, and I got to thinking about it. I actually wrote him a note for the Comics Curing Cancer. So it's been about 4 weeks now. I lost my stepsister to cancer. I kind of grew up with her. Yeah. So, I mean, it was, that one's been rough. It's been rough on my parents and stuff. And, and I don't know, and that's kind of changed a lot of my perspective too, not to get too heavy on you, but I mean, I think Rob's dropping the video for his box. I wrote him a note and just said, hey, I just really appreciate what you do. I mean, with Comics Curing Cancer and everything like that. So, I mean, that's something they're making a big push for Heroes Con and stuff. If that's something you all want to get involved in, him, DJ, Mark, a lot of those guys. I mean, it's incredible the amount of money they raise for that cause. It's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, before you said, "Oh, you didn't say anything,"
cool.
I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you. And said, "Hey," because I didn't really say anything to anybody else. I just kind of. I keep a lot of that stuff to myself, but I just felt compelled to tell Rob, hey man, what you're doing matters. I want you to know that, because he just, like I said, he's a guy that just doesn't always get his flowers when I feel like he should.
Well, yeah. There we go. Kind of got phased out there, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's tragic. I mean, I haven't really gone into it on on my channel either. But I think my mother is showing early stages of Alzheimer's, and she's kind of she's in denial about it, and it's pretty rough. She fell and broke her leg here about 2 months ago, and I busted it in half. Had to have her steel rods put in and stuff. So you've been dealing with her having to do their grocery shopping, because my dad, he's been battling cancer. He's outlived his life expectancy by 3 years now. So
wow.
He's a tough old man.
Yeah, he is.
So but he's frail, and it's hard for him to get around. So driving for him he can do it, but it's not easy. And my mom is getting to the point where she probably shouldn't be driving. So, but yeah. So I mean, I feel you, but man, yeah, it's rough, man. And I'm at that age now. I'm 57 years old, and so they're gonna start dropping like flies around me, man.
Oh man, that's I mean, it is. It's different. It's difficult. You just keep hanging in there. And I always tell everybody the only way I feel like anybody ever grows is either through life or death. And as weird as that sounds, I mean through having a kid or through losing somebody. And that's really the big catalyst for change in people's lives. It's either you lose somebody or you have a human life you're responsible for, or both in some cases.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Kevin. Kevin too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Kevin's life. Yeah. It's tough.
So you have let's get back out of the dark and go back.
Yeah.
You have a web. How's the website going, Alex? I know you were working on a website.
Oh yeah. I felt bad you mentioned that in your video. No, I killed it dead. Pulled the plug. I was like, yeah,
you just threw in the towel on everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I made this whole website. Had somebody design the damn Shopify store. Never could get it to be how I wanted, and that's how I am. If I can't get it perfect, forget it. I was like, I'm not doing it. I couldn't get it the way I wanted it. Couldn't get a designer to do it right, so I said, forget it. I'm not even going to do the website.
That is one of both your most endearing qualities, and also one of your most frustrating qualities is you remind me of Alex P. Keaton. You remember that, or am I going too old for you?
I remember.
He was I forget the name, Michael J. Fox. He was if I don't succeed, then forget it. He was so driven that if and I always wondered, I was like, did you do the YouTube channel? And then when it didn't explode as high as you felt like it needed to be considered a success, you shut it down. Or because you have, I mean, just in talking to you, you are one of the most driven people I've ever met in my life. You were, and I grew up with my whole thing was fail until you don't.
Right.
And so I'm used to tripping over my feet and falling on my ass and over and over and over again. Obviously, I've been doing YouTube for 6 years and I haven't figured out the combination lock to make it successful yet. Yeah. But you strike me, come across as if it's not at the top level, then it's not worth my time, and I just give up. So is that you really?
So to some degree, yeah. I mean, if you think about it though, like I know what things take from a time investment standpoint, and I typically can predict pretty well what reciprocation will be. And reciprocation doesn't always come in the form of like profitability or monetary gain. Sometimes it comes in different forms that you're seeking to fulfill. And like the YouTube thing, I'll tell you what really threw the trajectory off was when I got promoted at the job, signed the contract, had to walk away. I was on a rocket ship. There was no denying. Like, I think I could have been a 30,000 subscriber YouTube channel. I would have had to have modified and grown the content to some degree, which I would have done. I would have stuck that.
But and you used to come at me going, I just don't think. And I would say, dude, you're going to hit when you first started your YouTube channel. I don't think it's going to. I said, dude, I can tell you're going to surpass me, because at one point you had fewer subscribers than me. I know that's hard to believe, but I said, you're going to surpass me and hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. And you were like, that ain't going to happen. And then boom, you were at 1,000 just like that. And then you were like, because I have none of the tools. The only tools I have in my arsenal, the only weapons I have in my arsenal to be a YouTuber is tenacity. And guts, because I'm not afraid to say what I think, and like I said, I just refuse to give up.
Good though.
I'll keep doing YouTube until I can't do YouTube anymore. And if it isn't comic books, if I hit rock bottom and I can't afford to buy it, and when Amy was out with her hip surgery, I couldn't afford to buy comics, and I was getting 1 or 2 comics, and was doing dropping a video like once a month. I may hit some lulls and some slow periods, but if I
Yeah.
can't do comic books, I will find something else to do. And I honestly, your content when you were at your peak, of course, I enjoyed the mystery boxes, but man, would when you would get into reporter Alex, and you would do informative and stuff like that, I just ate it up. And it would, and more than anything, that one with you and DJ Links, yeah, I was so mad at myself because that ended so bad, that had such a negative result, and that I never intended for it to have. And I loved that video that you had with him. I said that's awesome content. I love that content. And then I had to come in guns a blazing and be an asshole and screw
Oh
it up.
no, no,
And
no,
I
really.
mean,
Yeah, but I mean that's part
I
of the
did.
that's a good thing you did though. I mean, really, yeah, you have to do stuff like that. I mean, to hear all sides of the spectrum when you're doing stuff like
Well,
that matters.
honestly, I mean, you were upset with me a little bit. Fu was upset with me. Everybody got upset with me, and that I made an apology video, and well, I won't. Well, let's call it what it is. Not necessarily an apology video as much as it was a. I'm gonna back up what I was saying because people kept stepping on me and wouldn't let me finish. So, you know, I meant what I said in Foo's live stream. I meant, but they never let me. They kept stepping on me. And granted, I came in guns blazing. That was wrong, and I admitted that. And granted, you had made the point that I wished they would let us on to defend ourselves, and you're right, that should happen. And and that's those were the things. But part of me made that video was to say, okay, he was accusing me of of making stuff up that he didn't say. So I'm going to play the video what he said,
Yeah, yeah.
word for word, and then I'm going to address it. And then so that was it. And I but I was like, hey, I apologize for the way things went down. I came across as grabbing my torch and joining in on the lynching, and I didn't mean for it to come across that way. But
No, I mean it was good. I mean, that was another like one of those moments that surprised me. Like that was one of those moments with Fu, and man, we've obviously gone way past that at this point. But I was like, man, I never really knew the perception he had of me. And when I first met him in person, and he was kind of telling me some of the stuff of like, oh, well, we always kind of thought like one of the things he said that I was like, really like, how would you ever think that? Because he said something about how he always kind of thought I was somehow connected to Jay Blitz. And I was like, man, I don't know that guy from Adam, and he's like, so I was like, I don't know where that's coming from, I was like, man, I don't know that guy at all. I mean, minus the whatever, interactions we had when buying a book or something like that. But I was like, man,
yeah, I bought a mystery box from him, and I
me
didn't
too.
get taken.
Yeah.
I dodged a bullet apparently because I didn't get taken for a ride. It was
No, I
actually a
didn't
decent
either. I mean,
box.
that was early on when he was doing them.
Yeah,
But
that
when
was early. So
the key unit is when I kind of knew, but because I was really tight with the Warriors and Thorough and Biggs and those guys, and I kind of was able to figure out who he was before a lot of people did, but I never thought it would end the way it did, with Jay Blitz. But at the same time, it was just stuff like that you find out, like where people will jump to conclusions that out of the woodwork, where it's like, where did you get that from? Like, why would you think that? Like, and it's just stuff
and
like that. And
God,
that's what the social
yeah.
media machine really is tough to deal with. Like, that's what you can't predict is like people come up with all of these ideas and these links maybe that aren't even real. You're like, man, I don't know that person or mess with them
Well,
or, you know,
that was the conversation. Some of the conversations I would have is, against the 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 Wink Inc. fan club.
yeah,
The people that didn't know you like I knew you. I'm like, I said you're judging him based on a character that he is playing on YouTube. I said that over the top. I said he is not what you think he is. And I said, if you ever sit and talk to him, I said, he's as real as he gets, man. It just, I said, but yeah, but and that's why, what you see on my YouTube channel, it's
It's
me.
you. Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
me. I, I don't edit. I don't script. I get into where I
yeah.
start taking notes sometimes because I'm
Well, you
tired
have
of
to be ready for that.
stuttering and stammering all over myself. But
When you
but
when you put video out every day like I was doing, you're gonna be susceptible to stuff like that, and whether you're real or a character or both, it's part
yeah,
of it, and I don't hold any resentment
and
really
you were
against.
gaining success, and then everybody, like I said,
Yeah, that's
nobody
really
care. Nobody comes after my channel. Nobody comes after me and attacks me. Nobody does videos about the truth behind the Stevie B comics because I don't matter. I don't have enough people
well,
subscriber
it
to
never really got
matter to
that
me.
for me. I mean, I
Well,
had,
you know what I mean. But I mean, that's the beauty of staying in your lane. Is that
yeah,
I'm not success. People only attack people who who are more successful than they are, or just successful in general. If you're not, they if they don't care about you and you don't matter, then nobody comes after you. So I mean, I've been
yeah.
safe from the controversies because like I said, I'm a small fish in a huge pond. So it's only
Well,
the
that
big
pond's a
fish
lot
that they go
smaller
after.
now.
Huh?
That pond is a whole lot smaller now, it seems like. It's just not as
Right?
many, yeah, there's not as many fish,
Um,
and the only way to really grow is taking the drama train or, or whatever. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to quantify. Like if you are concerned about growth, yeah, stay a small target. That's good advice. I mean,
exactly.
small target,
Exactly. I know.
radar
Like I
maybe under.
said, I have no desire to be YouTube famous because it's like celebrity status. Once everybody gunning for celebrities. Once they get celebrity, the more popular they get, the more people coming after them. So
Yeah, see, I don't know. I wouldn't mind that life. I mean, it. I don't. I always go back and forth because me. Like I've talked to you about it. Like I still kick around the whole finance, YouTube, motivation type content where I could almost embody that Wink Inc. Character like Jim Cramer. And so I mean I have a lot of different credentials too. Like I mean I've never really shared that part of my life, but like I have like I'm a CFRA. Like I could be I could like how every like financial video says this is not financial advice, like hashtag not financial advice. Well, that's because they can't legally give. You have to be a
right,
certified financial
advisor,
planner
yeah,
to be able to give that advice, which I am. And like so I could really turn that into a shtick and say, hey, guess what? This is financial advice. And here's why.
yeah,
Like you could probably carve something out in space. I don't know if I would go that hard because there's a lot of legalities there, right? You got to be
right,
careful. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I could do some different things and really probably help people in a big way. But it would just require I just know what that energy and that investment in time looks like because of the comic book thing. And I just think to myself, man, do I really want to put all my energy into that? And it may be, that's a multi-year, every night type of investment of making content. I know what it takes. That's why Comic Tom's successful because of the
yeah.
consistency, the schedule
That's
and
his
consistency.
job. If
Yeah,
it's your job,
yeah,
if YouTube is your primary income and
yeah,
that is your job, and you
that's
can
yeah.
devote your entire day, into
That's
it.
right.
But when
Oh,
you
I
when you
think
have
if I could do that, oh my gosh, there's no telling what I feel like I could do if I could devote way more into it, or if it was my full time job. Holy cow! Uh,
right, well, you've got the equipment. See, I don't have the equipment. I mean, honestly, to be a successful YouTuber, or on YouTube, you have to have the best cameras, the best microphones, the best lighting. You have to have the best backdrop, which I do,
yeah, you
but
got the backdrop for sure. Yeah,
but I mean, you have to have charisma, personality. You have to be very educated on the subject that you're talking about, and I have none of those things. So I and I'm not, I know where my lane is, and I know I will never be able to make a career out of YouTube. I thought at best maybe I could get monetized enough to pay for some of the comic books I buy, but I don't even see that's going to happen. I've been stagnant at 1,100 subscribers now. Of course, I haven't done a subscriber push since I hit 1,000 because I don't really. That's was my goal, and I got there, and I'm fine now.
Yeah, that would look
But
like now.
yeah, but you had all those tools that you could do that, and like I said, I don't have a camera. I don't have the camera presence. I don't have the I stammer, stutter because I don't know what I'm saying, and you seem like you're reading from a script every time you went on there, like you had a script in front of you and you've memorized it, and you everything you say you is intentional, and you're right on point, and you don't fumble over your words. And me, it's just the opposite.
And yeah, but I'm
So
telling you, you keep doing it though. Like if you look at your first video to where you're at now, I mean, you've already seen the rhetoric and your articulate side really. I mean, it's night and day. See, I do it every day for a living,
yeah,
so it's a little different. Like I can riff and speak, and I mean, I've never been a person that writes anything down. Honestly, like I just kind of get up there and go. But like like I told you, like I'm the guy that at the company events, I'm the one that's kicking them off. I'm getting up there in front of 4,000 people, and I've
right.
just never had a problem public speaking. And so with practice, you will hone that skill, and you already have. I mean, it's night and day from when you started to where you're
Well,
at now.
I'll tell you one of the YouTube channels that I envy. I'm so envious of, and and it's not even comic book related. But if you want to see the most well put together presentation for a YouTube video, the guy called 618 Fishing. It's a fishing channel. This guy
6
Nick from
fishing.
618.
Was he an Arkansas
The
guy?
videography. No, I think he's out of Missouri. In his backdrops, I see the arch occasionally. But Nick from 618 Fishing, the videography, the soundtrack, uh, the B rolls, everything he puts into that thing. He puts so much work into a 15-minute, maybe, fishing video, and the music is fantastic. I mean, everything he does in there, you got to think
This
that
guy
he's,
gets Yeah, he gets it.
huh?
You see, that for the algorithm, he is like on point. Every video is within
Oh,
10 to 16 minutes. All the
yeah,
thumbnails are like that. Yeah, he's got the lighting down. He's got the thumbnail design down. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty good looking channel.
yeah, he's like I said, um, I watch it because I'm in awe of the music he likes. I look at the credits and find the artist that did the music he plays. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how I stumbled onto that channel, but when I watched him, I'm like, this guy has got to be a videographer in real life, or in that business of some sort, and does fishing videos on the side, because no redneck fishing video guy
Yeah.
has that much talent to put together a a presentation that well well designed. But yeah, you check one of them out one time. I'm telling you, every
Oh,
Thursday. I like
I'm looking right there. I like him. I like the look of it. It's like freaking. I get down some rabbit holes, man. I'm sure. Has anybody else hit the hoof trimming thing?
the
Jeez,
what?
the trimming like cow hooves. Like,
No.
oh, dude, it's a huge thing. It's. I don't know. It's like YouTube will choose to suggest random stuff to everybody at some point.
Yeah.
What about Outdoor Boys? You ever seen that guy?
Who?
Outdoor Boys.
Uh-uh.
He just retired from dude. Absolutely incredibly wholesome
My
guy.
feed is my feed is eat up right now with comic book videos. Um, and if I don't know if you saw the video I did on it, but that coin pusher guy, the coin pusher videos that are
Yeah.
so cheesy and fake that it's not even funny. But those and disc golf videos. I watch a
See?
lot of disc golf
Oh, that's
tournaments
like
on.
disc golf. I forgot you're like really into disc golf. Yeah, ME knows what I'm talking about. Look, quick draw. Look up hoof trimming. You're gonna be hooked on it. There's a big giant hoof trimming channel. I forget what the guy's name. He's like, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
man.
dude, you gotta. Well, you'll. I'm telling you, you're in it. I'm
Oh,
telling
I
you,
don't
on.
know, man. I
You
don't.
know, he's called the Hoof GP. He's the Hoof GP, and he's some foreign country. This video has 2.1 million views. People, I mean, this dude's
Oh
just
my
killed.
God.
And this guy's a hoof
And
trimmer.
that's,
He's a
I'm like,
professional hoof trimmer.
people will 2.1 million people will watch somebody trim cow hooves, and I
Yeah.
can't get 50 people to watch my video.
No. Yeah. This is it's crazy. 8.2 million, 2.4, 3.4 million. I mean, this dude's it's crazy. I
Nah,
mean, it's you never know.
I've never even.
Trim
I'm.
hooves.
Did you happen to check out the video I did on the coin pushers?
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah, it is
Did
funny.
you? Oh
Like,
my God, it's so ridiculously funny. And they play it so serious, like, and they get offended if somebody dares to question them about the authenticity of their videos. And I'm like, yeah, you give them $1 million and they give you a bucket full of quarters to dump in the back of the machine with
that's right.
with $50 million worth of poker chips in it. You bet that's the real thing.
Yeah, that's real.
But you
Yeah.
can't tell them they won't mention where it's at, the name of the place or nothing, because he said it's a private casino
Oh
and you had to
yeah.
have membership to get into it. And I was like, well, you'd think they'd want new members spending
Yeah. Yeah.
$100 million a pop,
I can't afford it
But
anymore. Much money away.
right. Whoops. But yeah. Oh, that's gross. Dude, yeah, when they pull a small and all. That's like those pimple popping videos. I can't watch them either. That
Yeah.
would
No.
gross me. But I have
Yeah.
seen them take a hoof out with all the gunk come out of it. I have
Yeah.
seen
That's what
those,
the thing is.
but
Yeah.
no, it's like, oh, okay, nasty, and I click off of it. But yeah, I like the pimple popping videos. No.
Oh man, I'm a
I
fan.
don't have a weak stomach, but I don't have a desire to watch it either.
Yeah, I like it. I just get. I love watching just random YouTube stuff.
But the coin pusher videos is what I put on when I get home from work in the morning and I lay down to go to sleep because I can't make it through a single one of them before I fall asleep. So it
That's
puts me to sleep. It's my what do they call it? ASMR or something?
yeah,
ASRM or
that's your relaxing.
yeah.
I'll usually watch like debt confessions. I don't know why. I just find it amazing. Just like what did this person do? Or
Oh, I get in space documentaries and
yeah, I'm
stuff.
all over the place. I
My
love it.
mind won't shut off if I lay down. My mind will not shut off and I can't go to sleep. I'll lay there and my brain will just keep going. And so I have to Amy got me some of those bone conducting headphones. Have you
Oh
ever
yeah.
tried those?
No,
Those
no.
those are awesome. The Shocks,
Really?
SHOK. Those
Because
things
you
are
can
worth
sleep in 'em?
every penny. Yeah, because they go around your ear. They don't go in your ear. They
Yeah.
sit like right in front of your
Oh,
ear here.
I know some people that
And
use.
nobody can hear it outside you, but it sits right in front of your ear, and you can sit there and listen. If you're a rocker and you want to jam and blow your brains out, it's not going to do that. I can't wear them when I mow. I can't hear it, but to lay in
Yeah.
bed with them on and hear it, and they're wireless. You just lay there and have that playing, and they're awesome. Highly recommended.
Pretty
But
cool. I would have never even thought to use them. Shit, I
yeah,
thought they
they're
were like
great. I'd get
I
they're
didn't know.
about
I didn't know.
150. Yeah, they're about $150 a pop, but they're worth it. Worth every dime. I use them every day. Except I tried to hook my Bluetooth up to them so I could use them on the live stream here, but I didn't get that far and didn't have enough time to fiddle with it. I couldn't find my earbuds. couldn't find them when I turned my Bluetooth on and searched for it. So
Oh,
I couldn't pair it up. But anyway, so I want to give an opportunity to the 6 people in the chat if they have any questions that they want to ask you. Because I mean, you answered the first question I was going to ask you right off the bat before I even had a chance to ask you, and that was, will you ever be doing any more YouTube comic book content again?
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm an open book too. I mean, if it's something, I know, time has come and gone at this point now, probably. But I mean, if there's anything anybody ever wanted to know, or how whatever I do or did, and yeah, I don't typically, shield anything or hide
Yeah,
anything.
I
I may
mean,
not name drop somebody or put someone completely out there for to get crucified. But I mean, I'll definitely, share whatever experience I had, and I can take you through that. I was exposed to quite a bit,
yeah.
and I got a lot further than I ever thought
Well,
I would. You know,
yeah. Well, I know, get it. I don't get into your private life too much, but I don't talk about anybody's private life because I don't know, a lot of people are like me, this is this, and my
yeah,
family, my private life is kind of separate. So, I'm not gonna name drop where you work and all that other stuff.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Like me, it's like putting your address out there on blast.
right,
Hey, look, Alex's address. Yeah, but
yeah.
and phone number or something. But
Yeah, no, and I don't want to share like yeah, obviously like where and all that, but I mean like what
my
I do or whatever, is I take you through my whole daily routine if you wanted. I mean, I'm an open book for the most part.
well, I know you work in building supplies, and that's about
Mhm.
or with the building supply company.
Yeah,
That's about as far as I knew, but I don't know
yeah,
who you work for. Like I
yeah.
said, Amy works for a tool company, Marshalltown. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I have, yeah.
I'm actually wearing her competition's logo hat,
I don't know how you
Snap
got there.
on.
Her hat, snap-ons, yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of 2 people that own one of these because the
That's
guy that gave it to me, his son designed the logo, and
huh.
I think it's not available yet, but he gave his dad 2 of them, and the guy that one of my regular customers gave me one of them. Said that
That's
was
fun.
their newest
Did you know about
logo.
Amy working at the competitors?
No, yeah, I said, well, I said my girlfriend will love that. She works for Marshalltown Tool, the tool company, but
Yeah, that's great.
he just laughed. And I said, but I'll wear it. And I said, she's not that logo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff in my business gets you
Oh, but,
killed. We hate our
well,
competition with
man,
the fashion.
nah. I told her, I said, you want to wear it to work? I bet they'd love that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a company a local grocery business around these parts called Harps,
Okay.
and they like to pretend like they're in competition with Walmart,
Oh
which
god.
they're not. They have
Yeah.
found their niche, which is small towns like the one I live in, with low populations that Walmart won't go, and they become that local grocery store. But if you work there and you go in there with your lunch in a Walmart bag, they would write you up and say it was
Oh, gee.
disrespectful. And I'm like, you said you do that to the competition. And you're like, you are not competition for Walmart.
No, you're not.
Amazon is competition, maybe. But I said, but you are not competing with Walmart. You're not even in the same ballpark. You are
No.
you are taking they're taking Walmart's they're living off of Walmart scraps is what they're doing, which is a
Yeah.
good
It's
place
not
to
a
be,
bad living.
like Dollar Generals. Like Dollar Generals, they set up in these little rinky-dink small towns and
Oh,
and get that little 1% of the business of Walmart
yeah, but
gets, and that's
they're
enough.
huge. Yeah, yeah, it's worked out well for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Like Lowe's, everywhere you see a Walmart, you see a Lowe's right next door. They're getting that rub.
Yeah,
I thought for
Lowe's.
the longest time Walmart owned a Lowe's, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess not.
I mean, Lowe's and the Home Depot are interesting companies because they're two very different companies that are at the same scale, but they're run with totally different ideologies. Like that's like when you go to get like an MBA, they talk about that a lot. Like those two companies, the paradigm that those two are. It's pretty interesting stuff, but I wouldn't bore you with it
Right.
today. That's for sure.
Well, probably wouldn't understand most of it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, you would.
Honestly. Yeah, well,
I
I don't
appreciate
have
it. Thank you, man, for coming through. Thank you for the support too. I mean, always everybody here. Thank you guys for
yeah.
out.
I
It's been
honestly
nice.
thought it'd be a bigger crowd, but we didn't get much notice.
No, we didn't get any
But
notice. I mean, that's how it
I
works usually.
appreciate you coming in though, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you stopping by, Kev. Like I said, I have my loyal ones that that are always here for me, and I appreciate them.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a lot of people that watch my stuff. They just don't interact with it, but I appreciate all of them. Like I said, I do it for me. But if people want to tag along and enjoy, and they enjoy what I do, and I'm grateful for that. So,
Absolutely.
but anyway, well, man, Alex, we've been on here for almost 2 hours now,
I
and
know. I
I'm
know.
wondering if I end this stream, will it automatically upload to YouTube, or am I going to lose it? But we'll find out.
No, it'll automatically upload. It'll post.
Yeah, I think it takes like 7 days for it to actually
Uh,
upload on
no,
my.
it'll be. It should be there immediately. It'll take some time for the chat to render, so people won't be able to read the chat live or like the
Yeah.
chat. But no, it'll be there.
All right. Well, if you missed out on it, I hope they catch the rewind and like I said, it's me riding your coattails again. I figure
Yeah.
I have Alex on the channel. I'll get way more views on that video than I will
I need
anybody
more.
else's.
We'll see. We'll see. The jury's out. You're gonna have to
Nah,
change the
hey,
name.
oh, I'm just like I said. I've been. It's so much. I typing and carrying on a conversation in a chat or in text form is just so annoying. This is nice that I finally figured this out, and we made it through here with very minimal technical
Oh yeah.
difficulties.
Oh, it was
I'm
good.
I'm happy about that because I was really stressing that this was going to go south really fast.
It
And
was well.
then
It
I
was
was
well.
gonna message you and go, "Can we just go live on your channel?"
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. Oh, I gotta reactivate it. Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, man, it was good to hear from you. It was great to get some answers to, I'm sure, the questions a lot of people that that followed you for so long probably haven't, and then whatever happened to Wink, or was he coming back, or I just find it hard to believe that you invested so much money in all this stuff that you got, back there, and created this studio just ideal for YouTube that you. But I guess you told me like you do it for like
Yeah.
meetings and stuff like that,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's
Yeah. No,
great for that.
it gets used
Um,
man, almost every day. Yeah, almost every other day. And
that
I don't
was
work
one
for.
of the other questions. Yeah, one of the other questions I had to you. Did your new job have anything to do with you kind of straying away from the YouTube comic book content? With because I know a lot of employers, you know, they're like they troll your socials and see what
Mhm.
and a lot of places, and and you don't want somebody like me or like Squatchy or somebody on your channel dropping f bombs or or whatever, and your employer stumbling on those videos and going, whoa, who is this guy? So that haven't factor into anything.
It did when I got that new role, when I had to walk away for a little bit because I wasn't sure, what I was, kind of walking into until I was able to get a little more comfortable and was like, okay, I can do it. But no, not now. I would say very, very little to no
I would think
impact.
that it would be a selling point for you
No, I definitely wouldn't openly mention it to people that I work with, like, because I'm in a very front-facing,
no,
like I'm in a very front-facing type of role, so, like, I wouldn't, mention it or but if people saw it, it would be like whatever, I wouldn't care.
no, like that's when I would say, yeah, I took a YouTube channel and made it successful in this amount of time. Uh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
When you can break
yeah,
through ceilings, like, yeah. Now, if it was like an investment type channel, maybe that's a little different. That's a little bit more in that same wheelhouse of business and things like that, and not necessarily hobby. So, like, I wouldn't
right.
mind maybe that out there, or people knowing
But
openly.
you never posted anything, any kind of content on your channel that would be perceived as an employer as out of line. I wouldn't think.
No,
I
no. Even
mean,
if you
yeah,
did,
you're, you were a
that's
family friendly channel.
yeah,
You're a
and that
family
taboo
channel.
is not what it used to be. Everybody, every employer, every boss, every CEO is on freaking TikTok or Instagram or whatever. That taboo is basically gone now to this point. I mean, yeah, if you're an
No, is
idiot
it?
and you're spouting a bunch of like hateful, absolutely awful stuff, you're gonna get crushed no
Right.
matter where you're at. But if
Oh
you're
yeah. No, you
dropping
work at
f bomb,
Burger King.
yeah, nobody's gonna care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just like,
Or
oh, whatever.
if you're on there bitching about the company you work for, probably wouldn't
Yeah,
be a
that might
good
not be good.
idea.
Yeah, they might be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
But other than that, you're in pretty good shape. So no, nothing there for me. I mean, it's all good. Just time
Well,
too.
I think I've always wondered if that's what happened to Foog because he kind of got a new job and me and Squatchy were a lot to take on a live stream.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
An employer were to see that, they would probably send up a red flag.
no, I mean, a big part of it is time. Like, it just takes a lot of time, and Fu works some crazy hours too now. Like like his team is overseas. I mean, he's got a lot of responsibility on that stuff. So I mean, that can change it too. Like
Right.
for me, it's a grinder. Your priorities shift a little bit, as you take on other stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
gosh, making a video. I think back at that. I was like, how the hell did I make videos and post them every day? Obviously, I didn't make them every day, right? But geez, man, I did that for a year and a half. Like, how did I do that? I don't even know. I have no
I don't
clue.
know how you did it.
I don't
The
know. I don't know what
fact that
the
you
heck
could
I
put
was on.
content out at the same time every day, I was like, I don't know how he does it. It's hard enough for me to put it
Oh,
out
man.
every week.
Just doing wardrobe changes. I change my shirt every 2 or 3 videos, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I never thought about it. When I film multiple videos in one day, I never think about changing my clothes. I
I
usually
did.
just put it.
Gotta make
I'm in the same tank top because I'm filming 3 videos today. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
So
would
yeah,
always try to keep the illusion to some degree of like, "Oh, I'm not grinding through all these till, 5 AM." But it was
there
different
you
then.
go.
I didn't have all the other stuff I work on now, so, I definitely have other things that occupy my time, that would make it even more difficult to dive back into that arena like I
Yeah,
was
I
and
never.
have things.
I was convinced that you never slept.
I don't sleep a lot, I really don't. I
I
get up at 3:30 every day. Mm,
I sleep in spurts. I have naps, multiple
yeah.
naps throughout, which I hate. I wished I
Yeah,
could just.
I can't do the naps. Man, that ain't gonna
And
work.
look who's here.
Who's here? Rude Planet. Look, see, there he is. He made it.
We spoke you into
We
existence,
did
Matt.
speak
I was
into
just talking about how much I miss your content on here. We were just talking about the comic book community and is anybody still doing stuff? And I was telling them how much I missed your
crazy.
content, that I used to never miss your videos. And here you are coming in at the tail end at a 2 hour mark, at the 2 hour mark on this
Yeah.
video we're about to wrap up.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, great to see you, man. That's awesome.
Well, man, one of my favorite videos is when I did a parody of him on
Yeah.
there, and I was so glad that he received that well because
Yeah, you
I
never know with
enjoyed
this
making
stuff.
that video. Huh?
Yep. Good. Now you never know how that's gonna go. Somebody be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, I'm like, I hope I don't piss him off. I hope he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
because I roasted him pretty good in that, but it was fun. But I enjoyed that video. I'm glad he did. So I was out and about and saw Wink and ran back home. Oh,
Oh
he
man, much love.
see that's what I'm talking about. Riding your coattails, Alex. He saw
That's a,
you. He saw your mug on my, and he's like, oh, Alex is on. So he
man,
didn't
that
come
dude.
running back home because he
I will
didn't come
never.
back because he saw Steve opened up with a video or has a new video. He come to see you, man.
No, man, I will
I'm
never
getting
possess
that.
even a 1% of the creativity Matt has. Oh my god, I
Oh,
love
and
everything about that. About
that
Rude Play.
his intro was always my favorite part. I love that intro. That was that was some creative cinematography, and I
Dude,
tried to
yeah.
duplicate it in my parody video, and I just couldn't. It
No, there's
just
no way.
it
I
failed,
mean,
but
it's unbelievable.
it
Yeah.
was awesome. But
That's a hell of a way to end it right there. That's great to see him, man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But yeah, 2 hour mark. I know you've got it's 10 o'clock, and some people have to get up early in the morning. I don't, but I work nights. But
Yes,
man, it was
man.
good to have you on. I,
Yeah, you
I
man, thank
enjoyed
you so
I enjoyed this time we get to chat with you and get a few things straight. I didn't go after you hard, so we
much. Oh, no, never, yeah.
but maybe we'll do this again, and next time we'll have that debate.
That's right. Hey, whatever you want. It won't be much of one.
I'm
Like
ready
I said,
to.
I hate him right now too.
Yeah,
Hell
I think
yeah.
everybody's pissed at them right now. But like I said, as long as they keep turning them dollar bin books into $50 bin books, then people will
Yeah.
keep using them.
Well, yeah. There's that.
But all right, man. Well, let's wrap it up, and we'll
All
schedule
right.
now that I got this figured out, and and I know I can get through it without too many issues, and we should do this again.
Yeah, we definitely will, man. Yeah, all you gotta do is end the show and we'll still be backstage. It just won't be live.
I don't know. Do I guess I hit leave studio, not end stream, right?
Oh, you hit in stream. Don't leave studio. Hit in stream.
Oh, oh,
Because
okay.
in stops
All
going
right.
to you.
Well, I appreciate, huh?
Yeah, when you
Well,
hit
I
in stream,
appreciate
it stops.
everybody. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming checking it out. Hope if you missed it, rude, you'll have to go back and watch the rewind if I don't lose it. but but thanks for coming out, and we'll try to do this again, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Get that backwards.